In the DC universe, Plastic Man is usually played off as the class clown. After all, having the same abilities as a bucket of silly putty doesn't necessarily scream badass, so we really can't say DC Comics is wrong on that front. But here's the thing. You'll find out that Plastic Man is definitely one of those characters who's got more to him than meets the eye. For one, he's one of the DCU's best shapeshifters, with the ability to impersonate his target right down to their voice. And that's not even to mention that he's near indestructible and basically immortal. Now, imagine if Plastic Man chose to drop the whole superhero act and started becoming a hitman. That's right, a shape-shifting gun-for-hire who can turn any part of his body into a deadly weapon. Well, we hope you haven't wet your pants yet, because we're about to tell you a story in which this supposed DCU comedy fodder becomes one of its deadliest assassins. Don't forget to like this video, guys, and if you want to see more amazing superhero and pop culture content, remember to hit that subscribe button. There's a tall building standing atop a cliff in the middle of the ocean. Inside, a shady group of supervillains called the Cabal are having a meeting. Its members include the likes of Queen Bee, Degaton, Dr. Hugo Strange, Dr. Psycho, and Amazo. With the exception of Amazo, who's a super-powered android with the powers of some of the Justice League's members, these B-listers wouldn't stand a chance against the world's greatest superheroes. Together as the Cabal, though, well, that's a whole other story. While having dinner and overcoming a bit of infighting, the villainous group comes up with a plan to eliminate the superhero that's foiled their plans before, Plastic Man. Dr. Psycho tells everyone in the room that he's going to sick his interstellar friend on the Maven of Malleability as he prepares to pour a glass of Pinot Noir. Somewhere else, Dr. Kirk Langstrom is fixing himself a sandwich in his lab when he suddenly hears someone else in the room. He gets spooked and drinks a serum, which turns him into the feared beast Man-Bat. He finds out that Plastic Man has arrived and they get into a scuffle as the stretchy superhero shapeshifts into a utility tractor to throw Man-Bat around the room to subdue him. Once Plaz gets the transformed doctor to calm down, he finally reveals the purpose of his visit. He wants Dr. Langstrom to turn him back into a regular human. Plaz gets through to him and the doctor, still in his Man-Bat form, becomes lucid. Unfortunately, he tells the superhero that he can't help him, fearing that his experiments might end up turning Plaz into a monster like him. Understandably sad, the rubbery superhero leaves. Back at the Cabal's building, Dr. Psycho takes a bowl of slop to his pet, a human-like figure hiding in a dark cage. The minuscule psychic villain tortures the poor thing by controlling its mind and telling it that he has to earn his keep by killing someone for the Cabal. Sometime later, Plaz, now in his civilian alter ego, Eel O'Brien, takes his girlfriend Doris and her son Pato for a day out to the carnival. Drama ensues as child services arrive and take Pato away. It turns out Eel called them to save the boy from a life on the streets. Both Pato and Doris feel betrayed, but their conversation is cut short when Eel suddenly receives a call from Obscura, a secret agent whom he worked with in the past and have since had a falling out with. Eel tries to dismiss her, but she tells him that she needs his help. A killer is chasing her as they speak, and that hitman is someone wearing the face of Plastic Man. This fake Plaz finally gets to Obscura and throws her off her motorcycle. He approaches her, all the while apologizing for what he's about to do. When he's just about ready to take her head, OG Plastic Man surprises the culprit by turning his fists into boulders and squashing his impersonator. Plaz reveals he knows who this wannabe is, and reveals that he's an extraterrestrial from the planet Durla, who has the power to shapeshift before the alien transforms his head into a grotesque creature with rows of teeth and chomping down the stretchy superhero. But we're talking about Plastic Man here. He's not down for the count yet, so he transforms his head into the shape of a jack and forces the Durlan's mouth open. He then goes to check on Obscura, but when he turns his head, Plaz is shocked to find that the shape-shifting killer has revealed its true form, a tentacled, giant, multi-headed, fanged creature who's out to finish his job. The Durlan lunges at him as it gradually tries to copy Plastic Man's appearance again. When he gets a hold of the superhero, Plaz shapeshifts into a shark and tears its appendages off clean. Plaz taunts the alien and, at this point, it's successfully fully transformed into Plastic Man. They get into a good old-fashioned scuffle, all the while transforming their hands into katanas. In the middle of their fight, the Durlan reveals that his real name is Teal and that the Cabal, particularly Dr. Psycho, is forcing him to kill Plaz. Meanwhile, Obscura and the crowd at the beachside carnival look on as Plaz fights Teal atop a tower when, out of nowhere, Dr. Psycho pays her a visit. The villainous telepath taunts her and tells Obscura that they won't just kill Plaz and her. They're going to smear her name to keep the Cabal's secrecy in place. At that point, Plastic Man and Teal fall off the tower and into the sea. Obscura and the crowd of carnival goers are mortified when they see this. Shortly after, Teal, still disguised as Plastic Man, emerges from the water and takes Dr. Psycho away. Before they warp to the Cabal building via Skybeam, though, Dr. Psycho expresses his suspicion that it isn't really Teal he's with, it's Plastic Man. So, he orders the rest of the Cabal to scan Teal, believing that he's actually Plaz. When they finish scanning him though, they confirm that it really is the Durlan. Still, Dr. Psycho remains unconvinced and starts torturing the poor alien with his telepathy, and that's when he suddenly hears a voice in his ear. Plastic Man reveals himself to the Cabal. He shrank and hitchhiked inside Dr. Psycho's ear, and now it's payback time. Plaz beats Dr. Psycho's eardrums before entering his head and tinkering around his brain, which causes the evil telepath to convulse and twitch helplessly on the floor. The rest of the Cabal still have no idea that Plaz is in his head. Dr. Psycho's in excruciating pain, so he begs Plaz to stop. Like the crafty jester that he is, Plastic Man makes a deal with him. Take control of Queen Bee's body and blast a Mazo with her energy beam. So, the minuscule villain does as he's told and the two Cabal members start fighting. Degaton, thinking that Dr. Psycho did this on his own, knocks the telepath out with a single kick. Afterwards, Plaz finally reveals himself. He easily dodges a lunging Amazo, instead hitting Degaton. Plaz then turns to Dr. Hugo Strange, ready to bring the beatdown on the bald psychologist. However, he stops when Strange asks what he wants from the Cabal, and it's at this point that DC's resident wisecracking character utters a line that would make Liam Neeson proud, which goes along the lines of, "I want you to know about this. I'm not JLA. I'm no angel. I'll find the people you care about. I'll find your network. I'll find you. And I'll come back and visit with you every day until you just can't take it anymore." Holy smokes, Plaz. Not even Batman gets as dark as that. Plastic Man basically told an entire secret group of supervillains to stay away from Obscura and his friends, or else. Now, Hugo Strange is no idiot, so he agrees to this deal. And to add insult to injury, Plaz even gets him to agree to send him back home using their Skybeam. If that doesn't make you think how much of a badass Plastic Man can be, then we don't know what will. Are you convinced that Plastic Man is not just a joke in the DCU? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you want to get more of the best pop culture videos here on YouTube, remember to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time, only here at KRTV Marvel.